now I will go and buy a striker.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to believe that, actually. I don't believe he reads all the emails. Why would he? He might have a team of people doing it, but not him.
Yeah, bin it.
Yeah,
bin it.
Exactly.
Bin it.
Just pick out the good ones.
So, so obviously, as I say, this was the episode where we covered off the Eriksen, Levy, and Jose conversation.
Yeah, that was really interesting, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was actually. I think the club put their point very clearly. Mourinho did his best to what's the word? He was being very diplomatic. He was diplomatic in telling Eriksen that he didn't think that he was putting in a full shift, and he wasn't working as hard as he could do because he didn't want to get injured.
Yeah.
And Levy saying, well, we don't want you to go. We've always said we didn't want you to go. We'll match. We've always told you that we're prepared to match what any offer that you got.
There was certainly a message that they were trying to get over, wasn't it? The message that the club can pay the money, which was quite interesting.
Eriksen didn't dispute that. He didn't kind of say, well, no, right, where's that come from? Really, obviously that's always been the case. This has always been the message.
Yeah.
And I guess from Eriksen's perspective, he was kind of right in so much to say that, the fact that detail was being leaked to, in the Italian press wasn't his responsibility. It wasn't his fault. But I can't believe actually when push come to shove that's the move that he wanted.
What was quite interesting about that chat though was that in a previous episode, Levy was saying that Eriksen's agent and what have you wasn't communicating with the club at all. They didn't know what was going on. And then all of a sudden, they're sitting in Mourinho's office just having a frank and open discussion about the potential move. So I thought that was a bit odd that there wasn't an agent there or anything. There was no representative. And,
yes, you're right about that. But I think they kind of. Well, I don't know. I mean, it felt like they were just saying where they were in terms of, like we need to get you out of the club because you're not going to sign. But we want a certain amount of money. And Eriksen kind of said, well, Milan are interested. He said, well, if they pay 20 million, then we'll let you go. He's like, well,
that's not my decision. He said, wasn't it? So.
Well, it isn't. But but by the same time, I guess Levy's saying, but by the same token, obviously. It doesn't appear that we're having conversations with the club. We're having conversations with Inter Milan, but those conversations seem to have been going by the agent. So tell your agent to tell Inter Milan to offer 20 million quid, and then you can go you can go straight away.
But the thing is, that's if Levy really was telling the truth. There's all sorts of dirty tactics that go on in the background. It's like, well, let's ignore the agent. We'll tell the player's agent that. The player's agent is ignoring us. We'll speak to people in the background at Milan to try and get 20 million quid with 5 months left on his contract. That was a masterstroke. I mean,
it was actually, yeah. And he made it sound like they weren't getting enough.
Because if you think of it, it's kind of it is kind of 50-50, isn't it? 20 million for for someone with 5 months left on their contract is a lot of money, but 20 million for someone of Eriksen's ability is not a lot of money.
Yeah.
When he wants to.
Yes. Yeah. But he has got the ability, and in my opinion anyway, and I certainly feel that 20 million for someone of Eriksen's ability, if you're buying him, is a snip. If you're the
for a 27-year-old, on top of his game,
meant to be in his prime, sat on the bench for the second half of the season, and I don't know what the achievement was there, but hey. So obviously you had him, then you had Danny Rose situation.
Well, this was really interesting. I mean, everybody loves this bit, don't they?
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on that conversation? Because
because it starts off with Danny in the canteen, doesn't it? Talking about in the dressing room, talking about how they're playing, and he's moaning and what have you. Then it kind of moves on a bit to him going to see Jose and asking for a meeting, and Jose saying, "Yep, that's fine. Come in the office." They sit down, and it all starts quite amicably. But I got the impression that by the end of the conversation that Danny had gone in there for a fight, and just lost his temper. It was all a bit kind of sad to see. And as the show went on, and it was, you see Danny with Daniel Levy in the canteen, and he's kind of almost this little boy asking Daniel Levy whether he can go to Milan, and it was just all a bit kind of sad.
Yeah, have they seen Milan? Have they seen Milan coming yet, Daniel? It was all a bit cringy, and the fact that when you meet Mourinho, he went off and said, "Well, I'm going to talk to Daniel," as if like, "Well, you don't make the decisions here, Daniel does."
Yeah. I thought the the fact that he wanted to have the conversation with Mourinho, I didn't have an issue with at all.
I didn't. I thought it was a good idea. Yeah.
I'd want my players. I'd want our players to be upset they're not playing. I'd want them to want to be playing. Mesut Ozil is currently, and we don't know the background of what goes on at Arsenal, but Mesut Ozil is currently a hero on social media for answering a question about whether he would something. I don't know if it was retire or something.
Yeah, would he play for Spurs? Yeah.
Yeah, and he says, "Well, you don't go there if you want to win a trophy." Now, this is a guy that hasn't played for them for a year. Is probably taken about nearly 20 million out of the club in wages. Without having to lift a finger, he's refused to take a pay cut and help, therefore been partially contributory factor to some of their staff being made redundant, and yet still he puts a line on Twitter, and everyone thinks he's a hero, but actually at the same time he's like Danny Rose, he's effectively running his contract down. But with the difference between the two of them is what I can tell, although I don't obviously follow their social media, is that Rose, whilst at the club, wanted to play. For the remainder of his contract, he wanted to play as many games as possible, and wants to see a way to do that. Now, I disagree. That there's people who have said he's correct. He is the best left back in the club, but he's not the best left back in the club as per how Mourinho sees it, because Mourinho thinks that Davies is more effective in the system than Mourinho.
More reliable. Yeah.
But I do understand why Rose would have been upset that a right-footed defender is being asked to play at left back. But I thought Mourinho was clear.
He nailed it. Yeah.
In terms of saying, well, actually, and the thing that was really good and kind of and I think what Danny Rose should have just done was just accepted it at that point and gone, was where he said, when Mourinho said, "Well, you worked your arse off."
Yeah, I know.
You worked your arse off in training, and I put you into the side because you worked your arse off, right? But I played you in the game, and you just didn't play very well. So I brought someone else in; they played really well, so they kept the place, and it
exactly.
It's quite cut and dry.
It was. In fact, it was a very clear message to say: train well, and you get in the side; play well, and you stay in the side.
Yep.
Well, bringing it back to what I said earlier about episode 4 with Mourinho, positivity, belief, friends, family. If Rose hasn't signed up to positivity, belief, the full friends sort of thing, then if you don't buy into that, then that's half of you out the door already, or you're out of his mind.
Well, if you become a problem to him, you're no use to him, are you?
That was episode 1, wasn't it? Where he said, or episode 2, when they spoke him, and he said, it's not 75% or 95% or 99%, it's 100%. So 100% is that buying that, that 95 to 100% or that 99 to 100% is that positivity and buying into Jay, as you say, what Mourinho is
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
So that's that's probably where what Rose what Rose has failed to grasp. Anyway, enough of Rose. We are really ticking on in
Yeah,
time.
we
So
are.
there are
Yeah,
a couple of bits that I wanted to still cover in episode 5 before we very briefly skim over episode 6.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, six wasn't very exciting, so crack on.
I had like 2 notes for episode 6 and fuck all to talk about there. But
Yeah.
episode 5, obviously, and the major positive for me and the major thing, and I don't, as I said before, I don't really spend enough time on Twitter these days to really have a good grasp of whether this is the case. But from episodes 1 to 3, there was all this. Oh, Kane's the captain. Kane's the leader. Kane.
Yeah.
Where's Hugo? Like,
That's I've been saying it for years.
And like, but Hugo, as a captain in the dressing room, his presence,
Yeah.
messages that he said, his pre-match messages, halftime messages, everything that he said was on point. You know, I couldn't fault it. I thought his everything, like, you know, he showed me what a captain should be. You know, and I felt that Kane has got a lot to live up to if he's going to replace Hugo as the captain and be the one that gives speeches that are going to inspire the team and drive the team on. Then he needs to be watching episode 5 because that for me, that is what we're looking for. That is what it should be like. You know what I mean? And
I do.
Hugo's fucking immense.
He was impressive.
Well, we've seen Kane's speeches, haven't we? It's basically sort of thing I'd say, fucking come on, you bastards, or something like that, just to rev everyone up. But, you know, Hugo's speeches seem to be a bit more rousing. They seem to have a bit more depth to them, a bit more thought that's gone into them.
He's got a bit more charisma, hasn't he?
I think. Precisely. But he's a World Cup winner, though, isn't he, as well? And he's 33. You know, he's got that a bit more of that experience, really. You know.
Yeah, he's one of these people that seems quite calm about everything, but seems to be able to assert himself pretty strongly as well. So he doesn't seem like he's losing his temper. He's just getting his point across properly, and impressive. So,
what was the takeaway from episode 5? If there was one thing that encapsulated episode 5, which we haven't covered yet, which was from the Man City game, the takeaway. Jay, I'm going to hand this over to you because I'm sure you would have picked up on this.
Me?
Jamie will have picked up on this.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe I won't put it over to you because you'll actually say the actual word. I don't say the word.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean cunt?
Intelligent cunts.
Just so I don't want you.
Well, Stacey.
Anyway, we haven't said it.
Honestly, you guys. So be intelligent. Yeah. Cunts.
Just a word.
It's just a word. So.
You mean see you next Tuesday?
Well, it's too late. There's no point in breaking it down like that now. You've already said it.
The C word.
You've said it twice. Yeah, you've said it a couple of times. And we're going to have to now put warnings on this and all sorts of shit that's going to have to go out now to cover your
It's all right. It's a tick
mouth.
It's a tick box.
Am I going to get another ban?
We're going to suspend you off of the pod
for a week.
With no pay.
Suspend your account. Your account off of the pod. So episode 6 very quickly was running on empty, and we were kind of running on empty in terms of time. I don't think there was a lot. I've already covered one of the bits was about the accents. My other thing was Mora. I thought like Mora. They spoke about Mora quite a lot, and you know they did a little bit about him, but he just exudes energy.
He's just full of it, isn't he? Yeah. And you can see why Mourinho wants him, because he doesn't just work hard. He is a live wire, isn't he? He is full of positivity, and I really like Mora. I think he's a great addition to the squad.
And I'm guessing like I'm assuming that the it's 7, 8, and 9 of the final 3, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's that, and